Hi, this is Tracey from Mindless Crafting, and today I'm going to show you how to make a cute, adorable embellishment box similar to this one. So let's get started. Okay, so the paper for this box comes from our new fall kit, and I want to show you what this looks like. It's super duper adorable, and it comes off like this. And you just open it like this, and inside, look how gorgeous that is. So you're going to learn how to make each of these, including the pockets, accordion pockets that go on the inside, how to cover the inside of the box, but you need the measurements for those. So I came up with the measurements, had to come up with my own measurements. This is Pinterest inspired, and I thought it was just the cutest. So we're going to be using some of the items from our fall kit. And so these are available in our Mindless Crafting store. We're going to be using the paper from this kit. And we're going to take it step by step so you can make your own embellishment box. And even if you don't use this paper, you can, just learning how to do this and having the measurements, you can use whatever paper you like. So for this step right here, you're going to need to cut your packaging. See, I'm only using packaging from like a graham cracker box. So you can use a cereal box, oatmeal box, whatever you like. Okay, so I'm using the packaging, and you're going to want to cut it to these sizes here. And you want to keep them in this order because this will help you put your box together. So let's go ahead over the order because that's very important. So for this flap right here, the one that folds over the front, okay, that's this area here, okay, that's 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. All right, that's that front flap, okay. Then for the top here, you're going to need this right here, which is 4 3/4 by 2 inches. All right, and that's the top. Then for the back, it's 4 3 by 4 1/2 inches for the back. All right, that whole side there. And then for the bottom, and I just labeled them to make it as easy as possible for you. 4 3/4 by 2 inches, that's the bottom. So this and this, the top and the bottom are the same size. And then for this under part here that flips around, right? I call that the bottom flap. It's going to be 4 3/4 by 2 1/2 inches. That's the most important part, and also keeping these in the same order as you see them right here. Okay, so that's step one, but I just want you to see what it looks like when we start to put it together, because that part can be confusing. But if you keep it in this order right here, you'll be good to go. The largest piece of all of these is the back piece, which is at 4 3/4 by 4 1/2. Okay, so we won't focus on the inside pockets yet. We're not up to that stage yet. Let's focus on the outside and getting that covered. So what you want to do is this piece right here, this whole piece that wraps all the way around, that is 2 sheets of, let's see, let me make sure. That's 2 sheets of 6 by 8 paper. Okay, just want to make sure you get that. And if you hear some noise, that's my dogs in here munching, okay? All right, so I want this to be the outside of the box, okay? So I'm just going to slip this under here for a moment. So make sure whatever is on the outside, you want this to slip under here like this, okay? Just for right now, to make it a little bit easier for you. So when you line these up, you want to make sure I'm in camera here. that all of these line up and they have a small space in between it. We're going to glue this in a moment, but I just want you to see this part first. You need to have enough space in between this and space on the top to glue down the top and space to glue down the sides. So just like maybe 1/8 of an inch in between these, but I'm just going to eyeball it. About 1/8 of an inch. So you want room at the bottom to fold over, room at the top to fold over, and room on the sides to be able to fold over when we're gluing. Okay, so let's move these off of here right now. So I like to take these step by step rather than throwing all the measurements out at you at once. And you can break this down into maybe watch it in 2 or 3 parts and then say, okay, I got that part done. Let me move on to the next. You're going to glue these 2 pieces together, maybe just about 1/4 of an inch. Okay, and that will give you enough room so you have enough room at the top and enough room at the bottom. So let's go ahead and do that. So pick the paper that you really, really like, and I'm just gluing these together. And this is just using the 6x8 paper. I'm just dabbing a little bit of glue here. Okay, and just about 1/4 of an inch, and just make sure those are straight on there. Let me find my bone folder. My dog is over here really chewing. Okay, I'm just going to flatten that out real good and let that dry. Okay, and then we'll put these back on here. All right, leave some room at the top. And I had to adjust my measurements because the video on Pinterest was moving way too fast for me, so I couldn't even get the measurements. So I just came up with my own and said, you know what, I'm going to just come up with my own and do it and teach y'all how to do this. So okay, see how that is? I just left a little bit on the edge, and make sure that the sides are all lined up, so when you fold everything over it looks really neat, right? So I'm just doing this right now before I actually glue it down. Okay, so once that looks good to me, and I'm happy with that, and I'm happy with the spacing, now I'm going to start to glue it down. So I'm going to add the glue to this, right? And make sure your glue actually comes out real good. Now mine gets kind of stuck a little bit. And let's glue that down. So I'm leaving that space there at the edge. Okay. Sure, so I want to just, and I want to show you the whole process of this, so it's going to be longer because I really want you to get this. Because imagine you can make a bunch of these. You can make some and put some tea in there, make a little gift for someone, right? If you want to just make a fall theme one and keep all your fall embellishments in there, you can. Make one for Christmas, keep all your Christmas embellishments and decorations so you can find them. Great way to organize those. See, I'm leaving a little bit in between here. Just a little bit, yep. Just want to make sure. Okay. And once you get everything measured and you get that back cover on, everything else starts to fall into place. But just try not to get ahead of yourself. I tend to get a little bit anxious and want to move the process along, but because I'm teaching you, and this is just the second one that I've made. I just want to make sure that I get it right, and that way you'll get it right. Okay, and this is why it's important to keep all of these in orders, because if you get these out of order, then it's not going to come out the way it needs to. Okay, so we're going to just head down. Okay, and I still got my little bit of room right there for that one. Imagine all of the boxes that you have, the packaging that you get, and now you get to recycle it. And if you need to take a break and come back to it, then do that. Okay, so my sides look like they're lined up really good there. Okay. So remember, this is like your flaps, okay? So everything should line up. This is the same thing, but I only have it folded over. So this is just the same way. So let's go ahead and glue down the sides. Okay, so we want to train our paper to kind of fold over without really, without like really being too harsh with it. So just take your time on this part. I'm just doing this just to kind of get the paper to bend. It's kind of like, almost like scoring. So all I'm doing right here is just getting the paper to bend. So when you want to do this before you glue it, right? And now that I'm looking at this, is one step I forgot to do, which is cut off those corners. That's okay, we can go back and do that. So I'm just kind of training the paper to kind of move, right? The direction that I want it to. Okay, so before we do this part here, this is what I forgot to do, is cut close to the corners here. So we want a nice clean corner on this. So we're just going to cut this off and leave just a tiny bit. Look at that. See that little bit coming from here to here? So all of that will get covered. Okay. Just a little bit. And leave a tiny bit of space right there. Just a little bit. Okay. Let's do the other one. Just at an angle. And then right here is an angle. And I'm leaving just a tiny bit right there. That way you don't have any of that cardboard showing through. Okay, so now let me go back and kind of do this too and train it to bend over without like really forcing it. The paper will do what it needs to do. Okay. All right, so now let's go ahead and glue these sides. Let me make sure I'm in camera here. Let's glue those sides over. Okay, and once I get that art glitter glue down on there, I want to start really folding this over. Okay. Just using my bone folder here to really get that glue spread out on there. And see, I'm just taking it one side at a time rather than doing a whole, like the whole thing. To this side now. Now, make sure I remember what is top and what is bottom. And I got my measurements on there, which that helps, right? Let's see. Make sure I got enough glue on there. And you can use scoring tape if you want to. Just like that. All right. And then that last side right here. Just like that. And then on this side here, I came up short just a little bit on this side here and this side and over here, but this one came out perfect. So next time I'll do better. Okay, so now you want to go ahead and lay your inside cover. As soon as you know that everything is glued down fine, it's time to do the inside cover. So let me just make sure that my paper is glued down perfectly here. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and now you need 2 of your papers, right? And I want this side showing like this, the pattern part. And remember, this is the top and this is your bottom. Okay, so you want to have one here and one right here. Okay, so this measures 4 1/4, and I just left it at 8. I didn't even cut it down. I just left it at 8. So if you want to cut off that little piece and really fit it, you can, but I'm just going to leave it like this and overlap it. See that? Just going to overlap it. So this is what's going to make my inside piece. So I've got 2 pieces cut at 4 1/4 and 8 inches. Okay, so you see how that looks? That's how that inside is going to look. So it's coming together. All right, so let me go ahead and glue that first piece on. Look how pretty that wood grain is. This paper is absolutely gorgeous. This is the Harvest Market paper. Okay, so I want to make sure I come down right about there, make sure everything looks centered. And once I feel like it looks centered, which is basically covering that top piece and the sides look good, Then I'm going to glue that down and really make that glue spread out so it looks nice and flat and neat. It's all coming together. And then the other piece here, I don't mind the overlap. It's okay. If you feel like you want to cut some off, you can do that. Okay. The next piece on here. I think the dogs have settled down. Bit right there. Okay, and then we're going to just lay this down right here, just like that. Once I feel like it's lined up pretty good. Just going to lay that down. So just take your time with it. Don't rush. We love crafting, so it's not something we need to be in a road race, right? Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to start to kind of get our boxes, form that box part now, right? You see that? Okay, we know that this is that over flap, right, on the front part. We know that this part is the top piece. We know that this part right here, right, that's the top piece. We know that this part right here is the larger back flap on there. All right, so I'm just kind of like just gently pushing it. Okay, and then we know that other piece that goes in the front is right there. Okay, so it's going to look like this. Look at this, y'all. Look what you just did. Look at that. So we already have that piece now. So we've got our cover. How awesome is that? Okay. So I'm going to just take a paper clip and I'm just going to hold it in place right here for now until we get ready to finish up our pockets. So just to do a check, you see right there is coming up. So I'm going to go back in and I'm going to just glue that down. And you'll probably have more time to just have this, the glue dry a little bit on there. This is why I love art glitter glue, because of course it's very forgiving. So I'm going to let this dry just a little bit more before I do anything else with it. So I'm just looking at the spaces that may have not like glued down really good. So you just go back and you add more glue, no worries. Okay, see right there? So basically I just need to come closer to the edge there with my glue. Okay. All right, so let me turn this back around this side. So for these corners right here, I more than likely cut too close to the edge. I needed to be up just a little bit of not even 1/8 of an inch, just a little bit more out in order for that to work. Okay, so that's what we got for right now. And we're going to start on our pockets next. Okay, so now for the pockets. You're going to need 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 of these papers, right? 6 pieces of cardstock cut to 5 1/4 by 8. Okay, 5 1/4 by 8 for those. And these are going to form your pockets. So these are what we're going to fold into pockets to go in here, okay? Super easy and super duper adorable. Look at that. Okay, so that's the part that we're doing. So this is why I don't like you to move ahead so fast, is because sometimes you can get frustrated just trying to come up with all of the measurements. So 5 1/4 by 8, and you'll need 6 of those. So probably the hardest part is picking out your paper. So I started folding these already, scored it and everything, but let me show you how you do that. I just saved these two so that you'll see how we do this. Okay, so let me get my scoreboard out here. I probably don't even need to use that whole thing. I don't. Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to score these. And it depends on which side I want. Look how pretty that is. Oh my goodness. I'm going to score this at 1/4 of an inch on each side. So 1/4. And 1/4. And then if you want to score it at the halfway point, you can. I just folded mine in half. Okay, let me score this again. Score at 1/4. Flip it around. Score at 1/4. And then again, if you want to, you need to have this at the halfway mark. So if you're not comfortable folding it in half, you can just score it at 4 inches across, right? If you want. So see how that is? Oh, let me go ahead and fold this up and get this out the way. So you're going to need 6 to do this 6 times, that whole process. Actually, I want this on this side, so actually it would have been better for me to just fold this in half. Okay. All right, so this is how I'm going to do this. See where I scored it before? Score. Folding this on the score line. I'm such a hands-on person that I'll end up doing all the folds by myself. Okay, and then you see how you have that like that? What you're going to do, see, this doesn't matter which side I have it on. If I want to keep it on this side, I can. But it doesn't really matter. That pattern is not like upside down. So now I'm going to cut on the score line going up to the midway point where I folded it in half. So right up to there. And then I'm going to take off this little piece right here. Like that, right? Okay. And then do the same thing on this side. Okay, these 2 flaps, you need that. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Cutting right on that line. Take your time with that. Okay, so you're going to need that, and I'll show you in a moment why. And then this one right here, let's see, I got this pattern on there and this pattern on here. I'm going to go ahead and fold this in the middle because I didn't score this one, but I want you to see that you have options. And see all of these? I keep these. Okay, and we're going to cut right here. And you're going to cut on the other side. Make sure you get it to that halfway point. And then right here. Okay, and that score line right there. Okay. Now you're going to take your glue, and to form your pocket, see that? And put some glue on this side. And then fold it up like this. All right. Let that dry just a little bit before I mess with that one. And then you're going to take this. Imagine the different sizes that you could create with these. The different size pockets when you learn how to do this part. And you see that? So now I'm going to go ahead and I'll do these off camera, and then we'll come back and we'll be ready to put our accordions together. Okay, so these are what your pockets look like, and this is how they're going to line up in your embellishment box. Okay, so we want to have the notches on these. So all I did was I took two and kind of eyeballed it. You took my little circle punch. Right about there looks good to me. Oh, and I got papers flying everywhere. And then I just kind of take one of these away. Try to just line all of them up. All right, take one away, line it up with that. Super adorable. And I got papers flying all over the place. I gotta be able to see that. Like that. I think that might help. And you might have another technique for lining it up. Just use that. Use your technique, whatever your technique is. Wait a minute, let me just make sure. Okay, just want them all facing the same way, so. Okay, so we're going to just go ahead and do this. And hopefully you're learning some techniques to use in other projects where you say, you know what, I can use that and have my pockets go sideways like this, right? So then you have them going this way. So it's just up to you. So that looks even enough for me, right? So now what I have to decide is which one I want to be facing up when I do glue it down. Which one do I want to come first? So what I mean by that is, like, I like the way this looks with this, the transition. I might have a nice little border going across here. We'll see, because I do have some strips of scraps that I have left over. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is glue these down first before you glue it inside of here. Okay, you're going to be gluing it in on that longer side right here, and you're going to have glue here. Okay, nothing on the bottom, but down the center. So that's how we're going to keep this. And it won't be on, no glue on here either, because that's your flap. Okay, so let's go ahead and work on our pockets. Okay, so at the beginning, do not put any, if you want this to be your flat part here, the part that is in the back, don't put anything in the back or the front once you have them lined up the way you want. What I do want to do is see which one I like best. That looks cute. Oh my goodness, that looks cute. Right? I want to see which one do I want. That one's okay. Not as cute as that other one though. Let's see what this one looks like. Now, that looks cute too. I'm kind of liking it between these two right now. See what this looks like. I could pass on that one. Ooh, that wood looks pretty nice too. But I'm not like super duper. Now that looks cute. But for some reason the blue to me would be more of a transition. I need something with more color. That does look cute though. I don't mind the busyness here, but for some reason this blue really stands out to me. So I think I'm going to go with this one in the front. I'm really liking the way that looks. So I'm going to go with that one in the front. So I'm not going to glue this on the front though yet. I only want glue on the inside parts for right now. Not on the back here, not on the front here yet. Okay, so this is how we're going to do this. You're going to put glue down the center there. Line that up. Oh, okay. Too much there. Let that kind of dry a little bit there. So just right down the center. You do not need a whole lot on these, especially if you're using art glitter glue. And we are going to let this dry a little bit before we get it attached inside of our box. Okay. Now remember we did those other pockets using those envelopes. Similar technique. Right there. Just making sure everything is lined up. Okay. And our last one. Just like that. Okay, so we're going to let those dry a little bit. And then it's time to attach them in our box. Okay, so this is what our pocket looks like before we even put it, and it's super cute, before we even put it in the box. How cute is that already? And I'm just kind of pulling it apart to make sure it's okay before I glue it in. Make sure it's nice and dry. Okay, so let me just show you on here. So you gotta be very careful on this part. We want to glue it to this cover here, but we want to make sure that this is like at a 90-degree angle, I guess. Right? We want to make sure that's that's square there. Square, right? So let's just go ahead. Let me just keep that like that so you can really kind of see what that looks like. See how that is? Nice and square. Okay, so we want to make sure that when we glue this, that it's nice and square. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to glue this part first. And see, I'm kind of close to the bottom. Just have a little bit of tiny leeway at that bottom so it's not scraping too much. So we want it to be glued to the back. Let's see if you can see that. And then glued to the front here. Okay. Just like that. And that's going to look so adorable with that blue in the front. So the back part first, and then glue on the front part. And so I'm not coming all the way down on the glue there. I'm going to go right to about, maybe right about here, but not all the way, because that still needs to pull away from, let me just show you. It needs to still kind of pull away from the back. Okay, so when you open it, it has that flexibility. So we don't want to have it glued all the way to the back of that. Okay, if that makes sense. But watch how I do this. Maybe right about there. And then I'm going to glue it down. And let's see if I could let you see this process. I just want to make sure that I'm straight on that. I want to be kind of close to there, but not really scraping on the bottom there. And I want to be close to the edges there. Okay, so I'm going to let this dry for a moment, and then I'll come back and I'll show you. Okay, and do you see how that is in there? What I did was once I glued it down, I took my bone folder and just kind of smoothed that out. Okay, so if you want to take your hand and just kind of smooth that out a little bit, make sure that glue is in there good, you can do that. Okay, now I'm going to take this part, and this part is going to be glued to the cover. Now, you want to put your glue down here, right? Let me show you on this one. You want to put your glue, let me just show you here. Let's pull this up. You don't want this to be back when you're gluing this. You want to put your glue. So there's a little line right here. I need my glue to at least be somewhere around here. Right around here. And I don't want to come all the way down to the bottom because I don't want this bottom part to be glued. So I don't want this to be, I don't need to glue it above here. Okay, so let's look at that again. Just turning so I can see it. All right, just angling it. And I want to put a bit of glue here so it's below. See how that looks? Okay, pull this up. Pull this part up in like this. This part is just a little bit tricky, but you can do it. And I'm going to just hold that for a moment, just so it can attach a little bit. And I think we've got it. Oh, not really. Okay. Hold on one moment. Okay, so don't rush this part. Let it dry. Okay, do not rush this part. Okay, so I'll come back when it dries. But it's pretty much on there pretty good. Okay, so now I am going to, you can decorate this. Okay, it's in there. Still not fully dry, but it's attached. All right, those are ready. And now you can decorate the outside of it. And I'm going to show you how I made that embellishment to go on the outside of this one. Okay, so right now, all I want to do is put some strips on there. Okay, just right here. And you can do stuff at the bottom, the top. I like the strip right here. Right there is good. You can decorate the top here if you want. Remember where we had attached the paper to cover that packaging? I just went along the back with a strip. But you can really get fancy with these. Okay. And that one is a little bit longer than I want it to be, so I'm just going to clip that off just a little bit. Very careful. Okay, look how cute that looks. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how to make this embellishment to go on the outside of the box. So I used some tulle that I just kind of cut down. I may have to cut it even more to get that outside piece on there, that pretty outside piece. And then I cut some circles. This is okay. It doesn't really matter how big that circle is because it's just going to go as a backing just to make it a little bit more sturdier on the back of that once I get everything else on there. And then these came from the, in your kits you have some embellishments. So you got a bunch of those embellishments and you can choose whatever you want to decorate, to decorate with. Everything matches perfectly. Okay, so you can do whatever you want on there. Get creative. There's some flowers on here too. So if you wanted to put some flowers on your box, that looks really pretty. That looks pretty. If you wanted to put some flowers on your box, you can do that too. So there's so much you can do. And there's a ton of pieces in your ephemera. Okay. So here's what I did. I cut this circle. Okay, that's the first thing I did. Cut the circle out. And then I said, I have these little strips here. And I have a lot of them. So all I did was I started gluing them on to one of these. Okay, this right here, this size is perfect, right? Because I just found a circle in my room. Wherever I found a circle, okay? So I used this and I just traced around it and cut it out. That's it. Nothing fancy. And then I had lots of these little bits and pieces of paper, right, left over. And I know many of you are going to have that. And you know how I love to make embellishments. So these are like 2 inches. And I thought, you know what? I could do like a little flower thing, kind of thing here. So all I did was I just started to take these pieces, fold them around, and glue. Right? That's it. Nothing fancy, but a great way to use up your scraps. This kit is jam-packed with stuff. So much stuff for you to create with. Just have fun with it. Okay. So this is how these come together. Just getting those little strips. Another one of this. Okay, so you get it? So it leaves that little loop there. It gives it some dimension. Let's use this color right here. Now, how many of us have these little scraps sitting everywhere? And you're just not sure what to do with them. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, right? 11 of those. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish a couple of these up, and then we're going to go ahead and glue them to our, I guess, our flower embellishment. Okay, so for this part, I'm going to take these. I got 11 of them, so let's hope that all of them fit on here. The top piece, I'm going to start at the top here. And so I'm going to just put a little bit of glue on here. And then I'm going to take these and I'm going to start gluing them. You see how that is? Sticks quite easy on there. Okay. And let's see. Maybe go around the sides here. Let's do one here and one here. Let's see if that works. Let's see if that works. Let's do another one here. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just, these are not all perfect. They look, it would look so cute though. Beauty of handmade, right? Let's do one here and here. And I don't even know if you have to mix and match. I guess I'm just naturally doing that where they're the same. But let's see how it works out. Use this color here. Maybe overlap it a little bit. And if I need to cut out more, I can. If I need to leave some out, I could do that too. Oh, let me put some there. This will be nice as a Happy Mail gift for one of your crafty friends, right? You could have their embellishments in there and everything. And you'll have something to play with all year long, right? To make cards and stuff. So you see how that is now? So I just need 1, 2, 4 of them. I need one more. So let's see. This one can go here. That way I don't have two overlapping that are the same. I think this one's going to need more. Let's see. I'm trying not to have any of them next to each other. And let's see. That one would be there. Let's go ahead and get a different color. Let's get one of these. So that can go back in there. And I have the window open, so it actually feels pretty good outside. Okay, and something else right there. I guess we can go with this one. All right. And I guess we could have used a different color of this because our box is that color, but it should still be okay. So you see how that, look how cute that came out. Oh my goodness, that looks good. Okay, so these are little mason jars on here, so I want it facing like this. So let's take that off for a moment. See how we're going to have this on here. Just kind of doing a little check there. Okay. Looks pretty good. Okay, so here's what I did with this. I just took some leaves from the little embellishments. All right, so you're getting like a whole pack of those. Let's see if I can find them. So you want to keep those on hand because these would be great for pulling out. So it's the bits and pieces from Simple Stories. So you have a ton of these to work with in your kit. So use that. And you also have, oh, here, I got some off to the side here. Look at these. You got a ton of these, which I took and I placed on my little jar there to give it some sparkle. So that's going to go in there. Okay. And then, so let's go ahead and put that on there. Do I want to give it some dimension? That's where I got this from. Okay, so I'm going to just add a little bit of dimension to that. Let's just put that right off to the side there. And then we could put some leaves on here. You got your little chickadee in there too, if you want to put that there. Or I could put another leaf on there too. Let's put another leaf right about there. And just slip a little leaf in there. So there's so much you can do with this. And then let's see if I have something that I can add on here. Let's see, get one of the stamps. I think I'm going to use fall on here. Fit right in there. This one I stamped Be Thankful using the fall stamp set, which of course this is in your kit as well. That kit is jam-packed. Jam-packed with stuff. So let me just go ahead and stamp that out real quick. See, I use my little papers here. Sorry I'm making so much noise over here, y'all. So you can add whatever you want on there. Whatever you want. And let's see. You need a little bit of a border. I'll get some of my little scraps and put a border on here. See how much I need to cut this down. You don't have much room on there, so okay, let's see what we got here. I think this would work because it has a darker outline on it. So I'm going to just glue that down on there. I think this is why I like to make embellishments, because it's just like little pieces of artwork. And I'm just going to fit that right in there. I kind of like mine curved, so curved right on there. Let's see if I could find a small piece. I'm going to add some dimension to this as well. And these are, look how tiny these are. It's perfect. Okay. And we're just going to add it in right here. That will fit perfectly. And you see that? How cute is that? Just something that's made up from your scraps. And then let's see how we get this on here. All I did was just kind of put this on here and glued it down. And I actually used some, make sure I got this up right. I just used my art glitter glue. So all I did was I put this down here, glued that down, and then put this over it to hold it down. And I don't want that white showing through, so I just cut it almost the same size as this. Okay, so just give it like one twist so that it kind of like pops out, like, you know, fans out. Okay, so let's put this here. We're going to put some around here because we want to put that other part on there too. So let's see, just center it there. And then this piece right here, let me come up on here like this. Be a little bit generous with that glue. And then just kind of, to me it's easier to do it this way. And then we'll just let that dry for a moment. And you notice I'm kind of staying within, so this white piece doesn't like, doesn't stick out. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and let this dry, and then we'll be back with the final part to this. Okay, so now if you want, you can add more pieces on here. These are the enamel dots, and these are in your kit also. I told you this kit is jam-packed, so if you want to add some stuff, take some of these and add them in here, you can. So let me go ahead, and I haven't used the orange much. I'll use this. And then another one right around here. And these are already sticky, but I don't know. I just like putting something else on there. I'm gonna put one right there. Add a little tiny one right in there. Okay, and there you have it. And see, I got it's slightly slanted. It's handmade, y'all. It's handmade. And then what I'm going to do is now, see, I got the backing on there. I can take this and put it right on. Oh, it looks cute slanted like that. How cute is that? Okay. I'm okay with that. Okay, and then we're going to glue it on. Now, I just used once again, I used my art glitter glue. I mean, if you feel like you want to hot glue it on, that's fine, but it's pretty much stuck on there. Yeah, it's pretty stuck. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and glue this right on there. I'm going to be generous with that glue. And just let that stick right on. I had so much fun coming on and teaching y'all how to do this. And we're just going to hold that down for a little bit and let that dry. So I'm hoping that you're inspired to do this, to follow along, use the stuff that's in your kit. I'll have more videos as well to show you more ideas for how to use your kit. We got some cards to do. We have some color therapy to do using the stamp set. So much fun. So let's let that dry for a moment. Okay, y'all, we're all done. And look how adorable that looks. Now, for closures, I like the paper clip. You can use some people use magnets on the inside. You could also use the Velcro tabs. I have a ton of Velcro tabs on this in my craft room. You can do like the little, see, these are just very strong. So I think I have some smaller ones. I do have some little tiny one. I have some tiny Velcro tabs that I got off Amazon. So that's just another thing that you can use and put something here so that you can close it. I do like my paper clip. I got those colorful paper clips from Dollar Tree. So that's just another thing you can do. Now there is going to be another part to this. But you can use those things for anything, is to how to make the embellishments. How we use some of the scraps that we have left over to make embellishments, to put in our embellishment box. So that's another thing that we'll be doing. And I'll show you along the way how to do the beads. We have some cards also that we're going to be doing. So lots more to do with this, working with this kit. But I want to make sure y'all have enough ideas. So that's going to be the next part, is to do some embellishments to put inside the pockets, right? We have to have something to put inside. Tea bags would be nice too, right? In the fall, we like tea. But just looking at this paper, to me, it can be used for other things other than fall. I mean, polka dots are not seasonal. Flowers are not seasonal. This plaid here, it could be more than fall. So I love that this paper is so versatile. And I hope you were able to follow my instructions to a T. I hope they were clear enough for you. Just take each step at a time. Don't rush through it. And just enjoy the process. So thanks so much for following along, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.